hear me? Yes. Slightly? In the speakers. And you too, hopefully. Live on the web. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Malmö Studio. My name is Jonas Klerhag. Welcome to Malmö Studio and the home of altitude meetings upstairs and the Bridge Forum down here today. Apologies for the bad, the confusing signs here, but glad to see that so many of you made it here this morning. So, and actually, since last Monday, this is also the home of this exhibition, or the showroom of Smart Cities Sweden, which is a collaboration project between, let's see now, IVL, the Swedish Environmental Institute, Sustainable Business Hub, Malmö City, Energimyndigheten, Boverket, no good English explanation for that, translation, the Bridge Forum, of course. So lots of different players showcasing Swedish or Scandinavian clean tech for export to the world. So there will be good examples and best cases on Scandinavian clean tech here, showcased here. We started off with an exhibition NIMBY, short for Not in My Backyard, which has been previously at Form Design Center. Here for you to enjoy. So that's framing it all, and that actually shows that we are actually looking into lots of new technology based on new materials, which turns this morning into a fabulous coincidence, don't you think? So, how many of you have been to a bridge talk or bridge event before? That's a few. So for those of you who haven't, the Bridge Forum is a platform, is a forum connecting science with business to push humanity forward towards the sustainable development goals faster. We do that by arranging loads of talks. This is the 17th, interviews, summits, dinners, and countless workshops where we bring stakeholders together to work and collaborate for solutions on these sustainability challenges that are both local, regional, and global, of course. We know that materials will be the key to many of the future solutions for the challenges we see today. That's why we connect very well to what's going on in Lund, ESS Max 4, one of our founders for the Bridge Forum. So that's about it for the framing of it. Now, today we are extremely happy to welcome one of our fondest and recurring speakers at the Bridge Summits and Bridge Talks, a woman who has previously been with the sustainability team of Malmö University. Now, she's a free spirit and a sharp-shooting entrepreneur, exploring the possibilities and opportunities with new materials for new applications. We're very eager to have you here. Please welcome Clara Norell.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Thank you so much, Jonas. That was an extremely nice presentation. So, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you all doing? Are you feeling? I'm very excited and I'm a little bit nervous, so I need to say that so that it's said, because this is amazing for me. So I also would like to ask you a question again. Why do you wake up in the morning? Why do you wake up in the morning?
My alarm bell goes off.
I think it's important to start to think about that. Why do I wake up in the morning? What's the purpose? What's the reason?
Life.
Huh?
Live life.
To live life.
And there's so many reasons. So, how to pick one?
Yes. So I like to ask myself that question, why do I wake up in the morning? And I want to say thank you so much to the Bridge. Thank you for being brave, for inspiring to new innovations and new thoughts. I have been to many the Bridge occasions, and I always come out as new. It's new thoughts, and I've met new people, and It's very inspiring, and everybody's working for the good, for the planet. So I believe you are pioneers for including industrial hemp in one of your amazing talks. I feel very honored and grateful to be amongst all the speakers that have been before me, because I think that they are on the forefront within their respective field. I am Clara Norell, construction engineer and CEO of Nordiska Hemp-kompaniet. Dua asked me, sorry, I should take out my tablet and drink a little bit of water. Okay, so Dua asked me, 45 minutes can you speak, or is it too long? And then I was like, well, I can talk about industrial hemp 24/7, 365 if anybody wants to listen. And before we go further, please note that I am not a researcher. I hold a bachelor's degree in construction engineering, but I'm not a researcher. I will retell what other researchers have said, but I've not performed the research myself. I have experienced a lot in my life, but just so we know that on the academy field. So now, come with me. Come with me on this journey. I invite you to close your eyes, to take a deep breath. I imagine and envision us being innovative together, finding the alternative and sustainable solution to prevailing water, energy, textile, food, and housing supplies, fossil fuels. By planning and building on a framework of circular economy system, we take part in helping nature conserve existing water and energy resources while growing and building a better future, a better world together. Come dream with me. Come walk with me. Welcome on board on my journey. Why do I wake up in the morning? This is my home. This is the view from my backyard in Guguletu, South Africa. This is where my experience and knowledge lay, my human, academy, and emotion-wise. My heart belongs here and on top of that table mountain. My dream and vision is to build sustainable low-income hemp houses. They are made of hemp that is grown close to where they are built, so it becomes a circular economy from seed to building. My dream and vision is to build sustainable low-income hemp houses with innovative water energy solutions and a smart toilet and sanitation. I wish to make Guguletu, my second home since 2003, a better place. I wish to make the world a better place. I have been here since 2003. I know the problems which my business idea aims to solve. I have been the end user. My first encounter with the life of the townships, the struggle that people live and go through every day, struck me like a hard punch in my face, and it shook me to my ground. I decided there and then that I would do anything it takes to make this place a better place, to transform the place for people. I am so humbled and grateful to meet you today, to have been given this opportunity to receive a possibility to talk about the passion of mine, which is hemp. I wonder who in here is already also a little bit in love with hemp. Yes? So by that I wonder, am I preaching for the choir, or do we have some suspicious people, or just, I don't know so much, but I'm interested. Do we have, yes? Do we have anybody in here who's just been watching Grass is Greener on Netflix, perhaps? No? Okay, thank you. Then I know approximately where we are. So in my invitation to this talk, I was asked we were speaking, me and Dua was speaking, so what will the key takeaways be from this morning? So we were saying, okay, I would like to speak about why industrial hemp is a direct answer to the need of the textile and fashion industry to find a bio-based alternative to the dirty cotton industry. Is that better? My voice has been a little bit...
That's perfect.
Thank you so much. Okay, and the next was how is industrial hemp a direct answer to the need to feed a future population of 10 billion people a healthy diet within planetary boundaries? Of course, I'm not going to say that hemp is going to do that, but I think it can be a good alternative. And then we were also going to get early bird invites to my upcoming hemp event in Sweden and technical studies to Paris, where we will go for a study visit. So when we look at Agenda 2030 and we start to talk about the 17 sustainability goals, I think that it wouldn't come to no surprise to some of the people in here that have met me before that I think that hemp can more or less, direct or indirect, cover all these goals. But for example, no poverty. I believe that we can have food security, we can have a private garden, and we can have a separated plot where we can grow more to eat from the hemp. And then goal 3, health and well-being. Well, for example, if you live in a house where you have been building with hemp, it's good especially for people with allergy. Like, for example, there is this Swedish building company, Ecolution, you might have heard. They have a house in Brunsög in Lund. Attefall's house is a show house. You can go there and look at it. And one of their orders is from a family. They're so allergic, they have problems living in houses, so they must live in a hemp house. That's the conclusion they have come to. So that's good health and well-being. And for example, if you have hemp sheets, you can use them in hospitals because it's antibacterial. So it's good. It's good for that also. And of course, planting and growing. We all know it's scientifically proven that it's good for the health. Okay, and then we can move on to affordable and clean energy. Biofuel, hemp as biofuel is a great, it's a great biofuel. Decent work and economic growth, yes. We can have like a lot of farms, we can have factories working with the hemp. Hemp is used in cars. It will create a lot of jobs. And since it's new, it's a new market, we can decide, the people that want to work in this industry can decide how is it going to happen. And then we can move on to industry, life on land, I will come into that, and climate action. Life on land, especially when we look at the textile industry and cotton. If we compare how much water is being used when you grow hemp and how much water is used when you grow cotton. Okay. And again, my why. Why hemp? How did I get myself into all this? Being awarded Region Skånes Miljövårdsfond 2019 to arrange building courses in hemp and conferences. Being asked by the Malmö Festival to arrange hemp days. And then being in collaboration projects around hemp with Swedish Agricultural University, Smart Textiles, RISE, and Lund University. And also being the CEO of Nordiska Hampakompaniet. And I wish to just say hello to my co-founders and co-owners, Ivan and Hedvig. They are our Danish owners also. So we're very proud that we are Scandinavian. How the heck did I end up in all this greatness? Well, as I am a construction engineer, I started to get interested in the material as a building material already 2003 when I was in Cape Town, and I first encountered a hemp house. And then I started to study around it, and I wrote my thesis around it. And I wanted to build these eco-villages that I spoke about before, the eco-community, the vision that I have, that I believe is able to happen. So my dream to build those houses was hindered in late 2017. And I couldn't continue to work with it. And I lost purpose of waking up in the morning. Totally. I didn't know why. Why should I wake up in the morning if I can't work with this? What should I do? I lost purpose of life. And finally, actually, I hit the wall. I crashed. And I was burned out and on a sick leave for a very long time, 6 months. It was really crazy. And then, at the end of August last year, I decided, okay, I'm going to sign up for a hemp building course. I saw it on Facebook. I'm like, I have to do something. I can't just lay here under the blanket and feel so terrible. So I drove through the storm. It was storm. We went to Falkenberg. Me and my son were driving. It was stormy when we came to the hotels, and now it's closed. It's a storm. And we're like, let's go down on the beach. And the beach was it was so much sand that we couldn't walk. And I'm like, no, I kept calling to this Orust island outside Gothenburg. Should I really come? Is it not dangerous? Because on the radio they're like, oh, it's so windy, don't drive to Gothenburg, especially not the Orust island. I'm like, what the... So, and they're like, no, come, just come. It's not a problem. So I came. No, there was no wind. Everything was perfect. And then I started to build with this material. I mean, also, look at me. So, I've never seen the material theoretically like this before. So just pass it around so that you can have a look at it. That's the chives. So the only thing you need to do is like making a pancake. You put in a certain amount of water, and then you put in a certain amount of lime, and then you put in a certain amount of this amazing plant in the blender, and you mix it like this, and you take it out, and it's like, I don't know, like a dough with oats in, maybe chocolate balls, like Delicato balls. It's like that, and you just mold. You build a mold. You build a wall like this, and then if we say that this is a wooden frame, like normal wooden frame, and then we say, okay, we're going to have the wall like this thick. So then we put a board in front of here, down here, just like this, and then you take your dough. That is very easy. I can drive a full loaded wheelbarrow. Thank you. No problem. There was a lady, I think she was 73, also in the course, up there. And then you take the dough and you put it in like this. Jasmine, you're laughing at me. And then you put the dough in here, and then you have a sharp stick, and you just bang it like this, so that it gets packed. And then when you're finished with your cookie or whatever you want to call it, then 5-10 minutes you unscrew it, just 5 or 10 minutes. Anybody that's been working in the industry and know about drying processes? No? Okay. and then you take up this wood, and then you continue to do the same thing. You put in your dough, you stamp it, and then you let it dry for 5 to 10 minutes, and then you go up. And then you have your wall. And then it must dry for a certain time, and then you put plaster on it. So it looks exactly like this. This could be hemp. This could be hemp. This whole building could be hemp, if it was wooden frame. So I will just pass this around. I will start here now. It's a little bit falling off, so you can pass it around. This is the hemp shock, the mix that I'm standing there and doing. So it becomes like that when it dries. So you just put plaster over it. And then you have a beautiful wall. And you don't have to have anything else after that, if you understand what I mean. Luftspalt. What is that? Air diffuser, air. Yeah. But you don't need that when you build with hemp. So when I was doing that, I just felt totally in love with hemp, totally, and to feel it practically, and to feel that, wow, I am able to build my own house. If I can build my own house, a lot of people can build their own houses. So I just fell in love with the hemp, the flower, the plant, that can actually create this for us. And I decided to quit my job, which I was on a sick leave from. And I decided to truly, truly follow my heart, listen to my heart, to follow my dream, and to build those hemp houses and those eco-communities in South Africa. I don't know if we are live streaming, but I'm like, South Africa, listen to me, let's build some houses. Okay, so I quit my job. It was 29th of August, and then I just started to on my way to build those houses in South Africa. I started to gather to build a network, or rather herd. I was like, and I called everybody. I knocked on so many doors. I made so many calls. I ran around to so many meetings. I was here. You had a workshop about the sustainable fashion industry. Jonas, you were the moderator. I met a lot of young people there. I went to meetings like that. And I'm so thankful to everybody that was generous and opened up doors. So since September last year, I have been vacuum cleaning every article, research report, and organizations involved in hemp, both in Sweden and in South Africa. So I'm doing the work parallel in Sweden and in South Africa. And I very quickly realized, in the invitations, it says I was also going to speak about business opportunities. So I very quickly realized that there is little or next to no hemp industry whatsoever in Sweden today. Because hemp is still so stigmatized here in Sweden, while the rest of the world is making millions of dollars on the industrial hemp industry. So just before New Year's Eve, I was introduced to a group of people who was on the same mission as me. And today we are Nordiska Hampakompaniet. Yes. Nordiska Hampakompaniet grow, harvest, process, store, and sell high-quality, unpoisoned industrial hemp straight from the Swedish earth in Västergård, Tågarp, in Skåne County in Sweden, outside Landskrona, Tågarp. So 2019 is our test year, and we are starting with growing around 40 hectares. I believe that society must carefully choose sustainable and fossil-free building materials to succeed in reversing the current trend that the construction industry is depending on now. The UN Climate Panel and their last report there, according to calculations, requires a reduction of 45% of global carbon dioxide emissions by 2030. So hemp lime, hempcrete is great for many reasons, such as regulates the temperature and the humidity, and it stores carbon from the carbon dioxide. So, Dula, you're going to tell me when I have 15 minutes left, so I know that, yeah? So we say that this is the house in hemp, and then the CO2 comes in to the hemp. So the hemp regulates, and the oxygen goes up to the air, but the C is still kept and stored in the hempcrete. So it never goes up to the hemisphere. I mean, the atmosphere. Yeah. Okay, so we want to be involved here for the future, for future generations and the world. We need to find a balance between economics, ethics, and ecology, and it's all about the fossil-free raw material and avoid newly recovered fossil raw material. So we want to minimize the climate impacts. So this is our plants, NOAC's plants. We're 6 people and 1 company who have started this cooperation, Nordiska Hemp-kompaniet. What brings us together and what ties us together in our company is that together we want to create change. We want to contribute to a transformation for a better world, for us and for the future and for our children and their children. Our goal is to reintroduce hemp as a crop and industrial product of importance in Sweden. And we wish to contribute to sustainable society and vivid countryside also. So if you look at this hemp, we planted it in April. And yeah, in 90 to 100 days, it's going to be around, I don't know, we don't know yet. It's our test year, 2-3 meters, something like that. And we can start to harvest it. And then we can start to work with it. We can do a lot of climate smart innovation. It's not only building material. I know I've been speaking a lot about building material. You hear I'm very obsessed with it. It's also material, and I'm going to have to skip a lot of slides, I think, about the building material. You're going to keep me on track, yeah. Yeah, so I just want to show you the hemp house that I was first introduced to. This is the hemp house that I visited in South Africa, in the Nordhoek, built by Tony Padden from Hemporium in South Africa. So he was the one who first introduced me to hemp. And then he introduced me to Remy, a guy from Ecolution. So it's a connection between the 2 countries. How am I doing in time?
20 minutes. 10 minutes left.
Yeah, then we will skip. I can just show you this. This is very important. It's fireproof also when you build with hemp. This is Ecolution, a Swedish company. This is me investigating hemp houses in South Africa and some buildings. And then we must build for resilience, we know that. And I'm not going to continue to talk about the building industry. I will just tell you that I hold courses and building courses, and we just had one, and it was amazing. And I invite you all to try it out. It's really a great material. So I just wish to show you a little movie from the hemp building course that we had 2 weeks ago. Varmt välkomna till Hampa-event på Orient. Idag och imorgon så ska vi ha 2 fullspäckade dagar där vi ska lära oss att bygga med hampakalk. Vi ska lära oss att blanda hampakalk. Syftet är ju att fler ska få lära sig att bygga med det här materialet. Att fler ska få känna på det och att fler ska förstå vilket fantastiskt byggnadsmaterial det här är.
Vi har kört en säck i de här blandlarna när vi har klart vägg. Alltså kommer vi köra en halv säck.
Med den kunskapen som jag har fått idag så ser jag nog stora möjligheter för att omgående göra mindre tester och på sikt snabbt kunna implementera Hampa-produkter tillsammans med kalk i både restaureringsprojekt och nybyggnation.
Det är en väldigt spännande att delta och det är väl det som är viktigt också. Och att hands-on, det tycker jag är absolut en viktig väg framåt.
När vi tittar tillbaka på den här dagen om 10 år så kommer vi tänka, wow, jag var där. Ja, man har roligt när man går på hampakurs. Och I was talking in English before, so I'm going to continue to do that. Yeah, I said that it's great fun to go to building courses. And if you want to try, in Malmö Festivalen on the 14th of August, we're going to be at Hamgatan. And you can come and build a wall in Hempcrete with us there. You're warmly welcome. Anybody can try it out from 16 years and above. So you can also meet Hemp, House of Hemp and Ecolution, and you can listen to researcher Pauline Stanberg de Bruyne. So let me go into Hemp for Food, how food connects all the SDGs. Johan Rockström and Pavan Sukhdev presented new way of viewing the Sustainable Development Goals, and they're all linked to food, is what they say. They were speaking at the Stockholm Eat Food Forum 13th of June 2016, and the central director and board member were both pushed for a new way of viewing the economic, social and ecological aspects of the Sustainable Development Goals. The new illustration is based on one of the iconic figures of the center, the wedding cake, developed by Center Science Director Carl Folke and others. It implies that economies and societies are seen as embedded parts of the biosphere. So this model changed our paradigm for development, moving away from the current sectorial approach, where social, economy and ecological development are seen as separate parts. Now we must transition towards a more world logic where the economy serves society so that it evolves within the safe operating space of the planet. So they conducted that all the sustainable development goals are directly or indirectly connected to sustainable and healthy food. They also put forward that goals on eradicating poverty, SDG 1, and zero hunger, SDG 2, requires gender equality, SDG 5, and decent jobs, SDG 8, and reduced inequality, SDG 10. And another report, the journal Nature Science and the UN Climate Panel's report says, we must change both the production and the consumption of food if we are to succeed in achieving the goal of maximum 1.5 degree heating. It is not possible to deny that both production and consumption of what we eat and drink play a very crucial role in climate and public health. So, hemp, in this picture I borrowed from David Appelgren's Svenska Hampaförbundet. So thank you for being great in this field. Hemp is one of the world's foremost ecological resources and has great potential in how we can achieve the transition to an ecologically sustainable society. Food production is what devours most water on our soil. In addition, it is widely known that we have reached the ceiling of satisfying our planet's population based on the Earth's resources. We all know that. So, Nordiska Hampakompaniet, NOHAC, wants to help solve this by producing sustainable, healthy, climate-smart food that also contributes to the transition to a more vegetarian food, veggie protein food. Today you will get a sample from our cold-pressed oil. You can take one when you go out. And it's a hemp seed oil containing omega-3 and omega-6 and omega-9. If you take 1 tablespoon a day, that should be enough. You can put it over your salad. Martin Norell, I think his name is, he's a great chef and he has approved that this oil is very tasty. So we also sell peeled high-quality hemp seeds and hemp protein, but we don't have that now. But I would like to pass around. I'm sure you have all seen this in the store. Now I will start with this table. This is just hemp seeds, peeled hemp seeds. And you can sprinkle it over your muesli or put in your smoothie or something like that. Just and yes. I saw. Yes, you saw the number here. So it says that meat is 27% protein. So this is 50, 25. So, and then we have soya, 35. And then we have the hemp seeds that is being passed around, 35. And then you have the protein, the hemp protein, which I don't have with me today. It looks a little bit like flour, florsocker, flour. Okay, so we NOAC is a direct response to the food industry's craving for the new climate-smart, sustainable, healthy superfood. And in the longer term, we see that NOAC or hemp rather, is a direct response to the textile market's craving for a sustainable, bio-based alternative to today's dirty cotton industry. Yes. And if you want to know more about hemp farming, you should come to Malmö Festival on August 15th, when Mossagården is visiting. And Mossagården have been growing hemp since 2007, and they have a lot of food and building materials and so on. So, the fashion industry. Here we see a picture of Olsdotter, who is a Swedish and South African designer. And she will also come, or they will also come, to Malmö Festivalen on the 16th. They will do an installation in our container at Hamngatan. And they work a lot with hemp in their materials, so they will show great inspiring installations there. And we also will present Git Skoglund and Robert C. Clark. You can Google him. We are so thankful that we're going to have him on part. He is, you can read a lot of hemp articles and you will see him being referenced or quoted there. He is a cannabis researcher and a grower, and he buys material all over the world. And we see that hemp is going mainstream, it's luxury, Levi's is going out strong, their hemp materials, the Porsche, this car, has hemp inside of it. And we see that this is being more and more like, wow, it's not so stigmatized anymore. It's not only hippies and so on that is into hemp. So to know where you're going, you must know your history. And I have not spoken about that at all, and we don't have time for that. But we can continue to talk, as I said, 24/7, 365. Because hemp can do so much things. So much things. So I can just stop with this picture. And this picture is, it says potential cannabis industry in South Africa. It could be in Sweden also, of course. As I said before, there is little to no hemp market in Sweden. So I think that we have a window of opportunity here. We have business opportunities. I'm done in 2 minutes. We have business opportunities for impact investing, for partnership, sustainable and global partnerships. This is a window of opportunity. So I am so grateful that I was here today and got to speak to you. And if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to contact me. And then you will also get to hear more about our study visit in Paris in September 10 to 11. So thank you so much for having me, and I'm welcoming you to ask me questions. Thank you.
Thank you for the experience of your the reason why you get out of bed. It was truly inspiring, and perhaps also now, if someone says, well, the global challenges doesn't have one answer, now it does actually. It has one answer, and it's hemp. It seems to be, at least.
Yes.
I just want to, before I open the floor to you for questions, I just want to ask you, where in 5 years' time, where would you hope to, what would you hope to have achieved by then?
Well, I hope that I have achieved at least participating in building of Sweden's first fossil-free preschool, Hoppet, in Gothenburg. So then the children would already be in the house. And I think that they would have hemp blankets, and they would also eat the hemp that they have participated in growing themselves, because that is possible within 5 years.
Fantastic moonshots, I think. It works out. do you see as the biggest obstacles going there?
Yes. The biggest obstacle is this. It's the decorticator. We don't have a decorticator in Sweden. We don't have this. This is an industry that can open up a totally new market. It's a lot of business opportunities here. So we don't have that because it's an expensive and costly and timely project to kickstart. So we need strong partnerships. We need a consortium and to join forces to do this together.
It's the first time I hear the word decorticator, but it sounds very nice. Is it a machine or a plant, or do we need more of them or better decorticators? Or?
We don't have any at all. So decorticator separate the fibers from the chives and the herbs. So I take the other one, the other picture. And also, as I write here in the text, this we don't talk about this in Sweden because this is in South Africa. It's the whole plant. Everything is legal, so to speak. But you in a decorticator, you can separate the seeds. Then you can do oil pressing. You can do oil seed cake. You can get your omega oil, animal food. Cosmetic food supplements, that's just from the seeds. Okay, so you still have 3 meters left of your plant. So you have the stalks, the actual root. And then you do the fiber extraction, the fiber decorticator. And that is a big machine. It costs perhaps 20 million. But then from that you get fibers, you get tow, you get herds, you get dust, and then you get textile biocomposite plastics for cars and trains and so on, and packaging, and then you get paper, you get food fiber, cellulose.
Could you fit the decorticator in this room?
And no, it would need to be a little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger, okay.
But if you want, we can try. I mean, maybe we can do a test bed in here.
Yeah, I think because this is going to showcase Swedish technology, so if we knock that wall out, we could do it.
Yes, let's do it, Jonas.
We'll have a decorticator here in no time. Now, if anyone have any questions, please. Yes? Yes, it works.
Okay, it works. But if in a bag of those like hemp flax, how much plants have you actually used?
For this?
Yeah, for instance, or for building a wall or a house.
Yeah, you need approximately 1 acre to build. Hold on. Good questions. And let's see if I can answer it. Yeah, so 80 square meters are approximately 1 hectare of hemp. 1 hectare. Yes. Are you planning to grow, perhaps? You want to start to grow some industrial hemp to build houses?
Well, I was just wondering if, like, how much it would take, how much land it would take to be able to grow hemp.
Yeah.
To use it as a building material.
Yeah, but that's a very, very good question, because if we come into discussions of really doing this in Sweden, which we are, then that's a good question to bring with to, like, how if we grow this much hectares, we can build this many houses and we can have this many materials and seeds. So that's a great question. So thank you for asking that. I will keep it.
And another question here.
How dependent is the growth, the climate? Do you have the right climate?
Yeah, yes. It's not so climate dependent. So it actually, I mean, it grows very well in Sweden and throughout the whole of Europe. Romania, Bulgaria, France, for example, have so much. But perhaps not around the equator. It's too much sun there, I think. But Swedish, very good, yes.
I just wanted to add on that it's both not so dependent on the climate, but it's also not so dependent on healthy soil. So it's a way also to revive the broken soils that we have today from mainstream agriculture. And then through growing hemp, we improve soil as well.
Yes, that's correct. The roots, it's a special kind of root. It's called taproot. Taproot, and in Swedish it's pålrot. So it means that the plant is like this. Oops. And this is the ground. So it becomes like this. So it's a very strong root, and the root takes up the toxic from the earth, and it also gives back. It can give up to 60% of näringsämnen, nutrients, back to the earth again. But the strongest, what shall I say? The strongest power is that it takes up the coal. It binds coal. And the other thing is, if you have 1 hectare of cotton, you need 10 liters of water, approximately 9-10. And if you have the same amount of field in hemp, you have 3 liters, 2 to 3 liters of water. So you hardly don't need to water it, and plus, very important, we don't need to put any fertilizer on it. You don't put poison on it. So it's starting to grow hemp, industrial hemp, to use for textile industry. It's a revolution in terms of how much water and how much earth we can save. Because it's good for the biological sphere, etc.
And one more question here.
I'm thinking that the Swedish government, they are giving about 30 billions every year for the fossil industry in Sweden. So I'm thinking that maybe the 100 million that is needed to kickstart this industry in Sweden wouldn't be too much to ask.
No, it would be a great investment. It would be a great investment. It would be a great investment for anybody that does it. Perhaps there are other people sitting with 100 millions or 50 millions that wants to do something good with their money.
Yeah.
That likes the idea of being able to kickstart a whole new industry also, to be a pioneer with your money.
But what would you say if it's such a win-win-win-win deal, and there's so much money available, and that small portion of it could make a huge impact on kickstarting this? What would you say are the main obstacles? Why the politicians, or why the systems, or public systems, does not support this in a better way?
It's stigma. It's still stigma.
Is it only stigma?
I think that I can't answer you, of course, because if I had to answer, I wouldn't be standing here. I would be in the factory, working.
Yeah.
But I do think that the stigma has kept us in the unknown, that we don't know. Did you know this before?
No.
No, but why didn't you know? You don't know because we just don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the information has not been there. And I think that the more people that knows and who takes this serious and who tries it and who reads research. This is Pauline Strandberg de Bruyn, a Swedish researcher from Malmö University, PhD. If we start to take in information, then I think that perhaps those 100 millions would come up.
Hopefully. Any more questions? Yes, please.
Thank you for the talk. My question is that you mentioned a lot so the hemp can be used in many different fields. Then my question is, I think it involves a lot of different value chains, supply chain, and what will be your main focus within Nordiska Hemp? I feel it's a lot to do and it's everywhere, and I feel it's maybe not possible to follow each trains you mentioned.
Yeah, and thank you for your question. As it is now, as we don't have the decorticator in Sweden now, we focus on what we can focus on, which is the food industry. So the samples that you're going to get the oil, and then we also do the protein powder and the peeled seeds. So that is what we focus on now. And then the other parts, the sharks and the fibers, it's going into research projects as it is now. So it's Lund University, SLU's university. I don't know if Helena is here, perhaps. No? Yes? As Sven Erik's student, yes? And also smart textiles and rice that looking into. And I think that's great. That's like luxury that you are able to find out about your crop that you're growing.
Any more questions? How many of you thought of renovating your house using this technique while listening to the talk or previously? Yes? A few of you. How many have houses to renovate? Baseline question. Okay. Well, I did as well, actually. It was truly inspiring. So, and you will hang around for a few more minutes and answer questions if you have more not plenary questions, perhaps. I don't know. Yeah. But with that, I would like to really give you a warm hand again. And so please give Clara a warm hand. Thank you very much. Thank you for the forum. We say thank you with a small gift. This is a solar lamp for a child in India through Van Fonden. So with that, we say thank you and thank you so much, and good luck with everything.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please do not hesitate to get in touch. So thank you, and grab your goodie bag. Thanks.